like a boomerang. A tank come around, wanna hit the top.
Ooh la 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 la.
Chip, putt, you know what's the big whoop? When I play my game and then I make my mama proud.
Smash, bang, you gotta hit the ball far. Then the crowd goes, then you hear the
Ooh la 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 la.
Treat, I want my birthdays all day long. Let the bogeys go.
Episode 3. We're starting to get into tips, and just remember they're tips. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. It's just an idea. Don't take anything personal. Okay, so what I want to get into, because I live in Northern Ontario, golf courses aren't open, ranges aren't open. I want to get into how to set up your golf bag properly to your skill level and how far you hit it and what you would need in your bag. And some clubs that people shouldn't have in their bag. So remember, you only get 14 clubs in your bag. One's a driver, one's a putter, so you only get 12 to play with. In the middle, it's really not a lot. If you're going to buy new clubs, I always recommend to get fitted. It's crazy what they can do. You might think you need, like, something's right for you, but it might not be. So get fitted. I don't care if it's driver, 3-wood, hybrid, irons, wedges, putter. I'm telling you, get fitted. Now, and we're always trying to make the game easier. So, like, if you have a club in your bag and you hit it 10 times and you hit it good like 1 to 3 times, it shouldn't be in your bag. Like, some people have 3 irons, 2 irons, 3 woods. They can't hit them. Why even carry it around? Like, get something that it'll make the game easier for you. And I'll get into that in just a second. Well, I'll get into the woods right now. So, a lot of people carry a 3-wood and they don't hit it very well. They have a hard time getting it off the ground. So what I recommend is to go down to a 4-wood or even a 5-wood. Now, what that'll do is that'll help you get that proper trajectory because it has a little bit more loft and they're a little bit shorter. It's easier to hit. And because you'll get that proper trajectory, you'll probably hit it further than your 3-wood because you'll be able to carry it further and roll out a little bit more. So I recommend, if you can't hit a 3-wood, try a 4-wood. If you can't hit that, go to a 5-wood. And then if you can't hit that, just go to a hybrid, I guess. Now I want to get into the 2-iron and 3-iron. Like, some people have a 2-iron, 3-iron in their bag, and they can barely hit a 5-iron well. It's like, you shouldn't have that 2-iron, 3-iron in your bag either. They're costing you more shots. Like I said, if you hit the club 10 times and you hit a good 1 to 3, probably shouldn't be in your bag. Now, you get into wedges. Okay, so wedges. And I'm going to start off with this. If you don't practice, let's make it easier and only have a limited supply of wedges in your bag. Like, when I was a kid, I used to have a 56 and a 60, and I found myself a lot like, well, I'll hit the 60 this time, hit it. I'm like, oh, I should have picked the 56. And then the next time I'm like, oh, I should hit the 56. And I'm like, oh, I should hit the 60. So, like, instead of bouncing back and forth, I don't really know. And I was practicing at this time, and I didn't really know which one to hit at which time. I'm like, all right, let's get rid of 2 of them and just put 1 club in the bag. And I went to a 58, and I've never looked back. I still have it since I made that decision. And it's probably one of my favorite decisions I've ever made around the greens. So, especially if you don't practice, like, get it down to, like, it's consistent, you know, like, okay, well, I'm this far from the green. I know if I'm hitting this club, it's going to roll out. Like, if you're stuck between 2 clubs, like, you're not going to be confident. It might come out a little different. You're like, oh, like I said, you're like, oh, I should have hit this 56 instead of the 60 this time. Like, just make it easy. If you don't practice, pick 1 wedge, use that around the green. Now, when it comes to, like, a lot of loft, like, some people are like and like I said, don't get offended if you're in this category. I'm just trying to help you out. If you're like above a 15, even above 20 handicap, you should not have a club that's more than 56 degrees loft in your bag. The 60s, 58s, they are harder to hit than the 56, sorry. Like, you're going to find yourself probably sculling it, catching a little thin sometimes, maybe even hitting a little high in the face, or it goes straight up in the air, and the 56 is a lot of loft. Like, that, you'll be able to use it in the bunkers, you'll be able to use it around the greens, That's just a recommendation that I'm going to make. If you get past, if you're like a 5 or better, yeah, sure, if you want to get into a 60, or even like 8, I mean, like, 8, 9 handicap, if you want to get into a 60, sure, but I just don't recommend them. They're a lot of loft. Like, some people have like a 64-degree wedge in their bag, and I'm like, what do you need that for? Like Phil Mickelson has one, I get it, but he's like arguably one of the greatest wedge players of all time, and you don't really see anyone else, not too many people on tour that even have them. It's almost like a wasted club in your bag. Like I said, you only get 14 clubs. Let's have a club in there that'll help benefit you. Now, finally, I just want to get into distance. Now, this could be a big factor in what you have in your bag because of, like I said, you only get 14 clubs. So, I talked to my one buddy I went to university with. He said I could reference him in this. His name was Warren. This guy smashes the golf ball. Easily one of the longest players I've ever played with or seen. So, let's put it this way: when I was at school and we were playing together, and I hit a good driver off the tee. If he hit a good 3-iron, he was like 5 to 10 yards behind me. So, he hits a long ways. So I'm gonna compare his golf bag to mine. I'll start off with my golf bag. Like, I have a driver 3-wood, 20-degree hybrid with a little extension in it, and then a 23-degree hybrid, then 4-iron to pitching wedge, 52, 58. Like I said, I only have the 2 wedges. Let's keep it simple around the greens. I know them very well. I know their lofts. I've had that 52, 58 set up since I was probably 16. Now, I find myself a lot like 250 yards out to 190, where like par 5s, long par 4s, long par 3s, I need to have a lot of clubs there because I'm gonna have different shots, and I'm gonna need to know, like, have different clubs for them. Where if you look at Warren's bag, Warren is driving 2-iron, 3-iron to pitching wedge, a 52, a 56, and a 60. Now, he needs to have those extra wedges because his pitching wedge probably goes 150 to 160. So he needs to have, when he's inside 150, he needs to have more options. Where I don't. If I'm inside 150, like 150 is my 8-iron. So 140 9-iron, 130 wedge, like I don't need a lot of options going down. Like I could saw off a little bit of a pitching wedge and then a little bit of a 52 to make those gaps work. Where if he's 250 out, he could still hit an iron into the green. So he doesn't need to have a 3-wood. Because if he's not going to hit driver off the tee, he might as well hit a 2-iron or a 3-iron off the tee because he still has that distance. That's why setting your golf bag up smart to what's best for you is key. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask. I'll help you out. I can make recommendations. Anything you need to know about this topic, just let me know. I hope it was beneficial to you, and I hope you're enjoying the video so far. And I'll see you next week. Take care.
Really just a normal dude, go to normal bars, hang with normal dudes, go to Applebee's and eat normal food. Don't be mad at me, I'm getting sorta cool. But to the fans that can deal with me, and the people that keep it real with me, and most importantly my family, yeah, see I just wanna say thank you.